guys, my name is Desi Music, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to Weekly Beats and Music Promotions Season 4. And without further ado, let's get on it. Okay guys, and we are back. So guys, if you can look here, we have the song. So the song that we're going to use today is called Umhlabe Dubai. It's one of my best songs on the album Throne of Rhythms album, which is out now. Link in the description. So this is the song that we're going to use. So guys, we're going to try and reach the Weeknd's vocal style, or the Weeknd's vocal, or the vintage vocal style. We created a template that is a vintage style. This is the template. By the way, the template is out now. Link in the description. It comes with the Incense Fiction bundle, so it's out now. The link is on the description if you want to buy it. It's a premium template, guys. It works wonders on any vocal you want to turn into a vintage style or the Weeknd style of vocals. Okay, guys. So what you just saw right now, or the plugin that you're going to use right now, is called a mic emulation plugin. It's actually a plugin from T-Rex called Micron, guys. Remember that when you are going for those vintage style of vocals, you are going for the vocal that is much older than where we are right now. So the mics that we are using today are not similar to the mics that we used back in the days. So we need to try and emulate those microphones to get the exact sound of the vintage style that we are looking for. So the plugin here, as you can see, I have my source microphone and I have my target microphone. So if you can see, these two microphones are two different microphones, but the microphone that you should always go for or target is the microphone that is a ribbon microphone. So here we have our target microphone. It's a ribbon microphone. It's a ribbon 160 microphone. And then we have our condenser microphone. So I chose this one. This one is not exact the microphone that I am using, but it sounds the same as my microphone. So you get the point. That is why we have it on the source, because the source is the microphone that you are using and the target is the microphone that you are going for. We have done this before, guys. The proximity here, I have the proximity at about 3.5, and then we have the harmonics at around 4.9, and then our input gain at 5 dB.
Ungaba yimi nje ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela abanye bathi ngimpumpuzo uthando lakho luyangigqugquzela lapha mina ngiyafa uthando lakho impilo yami siphelele nje uma ngenawe.
The vocal becomes a bit boxy because the ribbon microphone has that boxy sound on it, which emulates the vintage style that we are going for, because those vintage style of vocals are vocals that are a bit boxy and dirtier on the low end. So the next plugin that we have here, we have FabFilter Pro Q3.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe dali wami impilo yami iphelele ngawe dali wami ungaba yimi nje ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela abanye bathi ngimpumpuzo uthando lakho luyangigqugquzela lapha mina ngiyafa uthando lakho impilo yami siphelele nje uma ngenawe.
As you can see, guys, we boosted on the mid frequencies. We made the vocal to sound more boxy than it was. And then we tamed some of the highs. I felt like the vocal had a lot of highs, so we needed to tame some of those highs. Remember that these vocals, these vintage styles, are vocals that are like they are playing from a radio. And next we have our de-esser, taking care of the problems. I felt like the vocal now needed to be taken care of using maybe a de-esser or maybe another EQ. I love this compressor because it works well here on this chain or on this template as well as other vocals. If you can see here, our settings are always like this, guys. We have -48 on the threshold, -16 on the range, and the frequency that we're always targeting is the 4237 range of frequency. And then the type here is only the one that we changed here to something like a bit, cutting off some of that highs and cutting off some of that low.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe, dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, loyo ngaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela, abanye bathi ngimpumpuza, uthando lwakho luyangigqugquzela, lapha mina ngiyafa, uthando lwakho, impilo yami siphelele nje.
Okay, guys, doing this, when I went back to the vocal, I felt like it needed some more EQing on it. Now I wanted to take care of the problems. I know what you're saying right now. Take care of the problems. But taking care of this problem, of the problems, was not like me trying to take care of the things that I did not want on the vocal. But it was me trying to bring the vocal back a bit before we do something drastic on the vocal. Taking care of the vocal, or trying to bring back the vocal a bit. We used an EQ, guys. So if you can see on our EQ here, we boosted on the highs because we needed the vocal to sound a bit high on the highs, specifically on the higher highs, the ones that are here, guys. These are the highs, but boosting it here, we did not use a straight boost of boosting vocal, but we used a dynamic boosting. We also used a side option of boosting. So you can literally boost something here more than a dB using a side boost. It will be not noticeable by ears, but it will sound boosted somehow or feel like it sounds boosted. And then we wanted to make the vocal to sound a bit thinner. We wanted the vocal to sound a bit more controlled, but remember it was becoming more boxy and more dirtier. So we wanted to make it sound dirty and boxy, but on a controlled way. So here we were trying to control those things as well as what you're going to do right now.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe, dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, loyo ngaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela, abanye bathi ngimpumpuza, uthando lwakho luyangigqugquzela, lapha mina ngiyafa, uthando lwakho, impilo yami siphelele nje, uma ngenawe.
And then the next thing that you have here is the CLA 76. So basically this thing is for trying to control the peaks, trying to get that analog sound on our vocal.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe, dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, loyo ngaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela.
It is taking the vocal to sound more and more vintage. When the EQ was on, it sounded a bit thinner, but with this vocal, it brought the vocal back to life. We had that body trying to come back, and we had that vocal trying to change sound a bit.
Dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, loyo ngaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela, abanye bathi ngimpumpuza, uthando lwakho luyangigqugquzela.
Again, guys, with the RVox, we are compressing the vocal. We are trying to make the vocal to sound a bit more contained. quite sounding like a dirty vocal. Containing it means that we are compressing at -4 and then we are gaining at -3 and then we are gating the vocal at -39. This section depends on your own vocal. Believe me guys, you will need to gate your vocal at this stage because you are boosting here on the gain and on the compressing, meaning that you are taming or you are taking that ground noise that we did not control in any subtractive step on it. Now we have the R compressor. The R compressor, guys, we are trying to compress the vocal. But if you can see, my setting here is at manual, opto. We have it at smooth. We have it at manual, opto, and smooth, guys. And our gain at around 10 and our threshold at around -5 and ratio at 1.72.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe, dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, lo ungaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela. Abanye bathi ngimpumpuza, uthando lwakho luyangigqugquzela.
So guys, if you can see here, we have our saturation plugin, guys, because guys, we would have not finished this template without having a saturation plugin, because guys, the saturation plugin makes the vocal to sound a bit more and more vintage in style. And we also wanted to update harmonics on the vocals to make the vocal sound a bit more musical and moving with the beat and maintaining the style that we were going for. If you can see here, we have our Abbey Road saturation plugin. I think this one is my second best saturation plugin. If you can see here, our saturator here is sitting at around 19.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe, dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, lo ungaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela. Abanye bathi ngimpumpuza, uthando lwakho luyangigqugquzela.
And then the next thing that we used here was the F6. Using the F6, we are now trying to bring back that depth and that boomness for the last time before we save the vocal, guys. I know people will be like, why are you using so many EQs? It's because, guys, we are changing the sound here. In order to change your sound, guys, you must use EQs. EQs are best way to change the sound of the vocal.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe, dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, lo ungaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela. Abanye bathi ngimpumpuza, uthando lwakho luyangigqugquzela. Lapha mina ngiyafa, uthando lwakho, impilo yami siphelele nje, uma ngenawe.
Good. And then we also brightened up the vocal using the one knob from Waves plugin. It sounds like this.
Mina sengiphelele ngawe, dali wami, impilo yami iphelele ngawe, dali wami, lo ungaba yimi nje, ngahlangana nawe ngiyaphuphuzela. Abanye bathi ngimpumpuza, uthando lwakho luyangigqugquzela. Lapha mina ngiyafa, uthando lwakho, impilo yami siphelele nje, uma ngenawe. We just boosted here about 1.51 dB. I love this plugin because you can actually boost something to the max here without actually destroying the vocal. Mina sengiphelele